Hello and welcome to this global Azure session being brought to you by our user group Give Me Cloud Talks, as well as sponsored by Captain Hyperscaler. My name is Dwayne Natwick. I am a board member at Give Me Cloud Talks and the CEO and owner of Captain Hyperscaler. With us today for this great global Azure session is Harshavardhan, and he is going to discuss AI innovation with Azure from concept to creation. So take it away. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. So today we are actually going to understand how you can use Azure to create your innovations and go from just concept to creation. Now you might ask, concept to creation? Yes. So most of the times we have a concept and it uses AI as it's trending nowadays, but we are not able to create something out of it because we don't know how to actually build it. So we have come up with this particular session where we'll be showing it to you how you can use Azure services and build it without actual coding it. So first of all, who am I? I'm currently an SD consultant at Unstock, Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador Gold, GitHub Campus Expert, 6 times Microsoft Certified, which includes AI Engineer and Data Scientist, founder of a community which is around 1,000 plus members right now, named Devault, and Google Cloud Digital Certified Leader. Here's my QR code in case you wish to connect with me over LinkedIn or Twitter. I'm usually active on LinkedIn, so would be happy to connect and also know about you. Now, you might ask, okay, what's the prerequisites for today? It's like first most important thing is Azure for Students account, which has been written because I think mostly students will be taking part, but it's for professionals also. So what you need is Azure subscription, which you can get by just going to a new tab and just typing in Azure subscription, or maybe just going to I want to get Azure, and you will get a portal where you need to actually just start your free account in case you want to start with free. And if you're a student, you can avail $100 free credits, which link is mentioned in the PPT itself. So once you've got this subscription or you have started your free service, you'll be getting around $200 of Azure credit, which you can use to try out them, understand how it can be useful for you, and then maybe enroll your credit card and actually use them. So this is the first and the most important thing that you need for the session today, an active Azure subscription. Next up, you need Python 3.6 or later installed in your system. Now, it can be possible that you are using Linux. In Linux, it already comes pre-installed in your system. And the second thing that you need is VS Code, where you will be actually coding out the whole application for today. Or I've written GitHub Codespace. So GitHub Codespace is a new virtual machine through which you can create an environment. It's like it comes pre-installed with Python, React, and other dependencies, and then you can directly use it. So either Python 3.6 and VS Code or GitHub Codespace. Once you are ready with these prerequisites, you can begin. Now, do you all know what is GitHub Codespace? If not, and you are a student, scan this QR code, you will get. Now, what is the learning objective for today? First of all, we'll be learning how to set up a Flask development environment. Now, you might ask me what is Flask? So we are using Flask for today to build the Azure AI application. You can use this similar method or similar approach to build it. Learn how to use Flask, and finally, how to create a translator service to translate text. Yes, you heard it right. To actually translate text without coding anything or building a machine learning model. We will be doing that today. So this is our agenda for today. It's the same thing, just written in short. Now, let's get along and understand what is actually that we are going to do. It's like we are going to create a web application that has AI, but does not involve a lot of code. Okay, but how is it possible? Have you heard of APIs? Um, if not, let's take an example. So you go to a restaurant, you ask the waiter for some food item, and he or she brings it to you. Now you don't go and check how that food was prepared. Similarly, in our case, what will happen is we don't know what's happening behind the scenes. For Azure, we'll be just using AI services, which is looking like this. So there are other studios available through which you can actually get those AI services. Right. So if you just go to Azure AI services, you will get a list of Azure AI services that you can actually use for your own purpose. And that's what we are talking about as APIs. So you can just directly call them using a particular URL, sending some of the parameters that will be given to you, and you will be getting the result without actually knowing how it's working in the backend, how is the model trained, or maybe if you want to just generate it out. So if you just click on build with Azure AI Studio, it will give you tons of services that you can imagine, anything that you can imagine. Like explode for a second. So this is a complete studio where you can explore different things, build it using AI, and you can create projects. If you are handling multiple projects, you can create project and manage it. You can also use Azure Monitor to manage how the request has been going, what is the latency, how many of the users are from a particular area, all of it. As you can see, it has Azure OpenAI. As you know, Microsoft has partnered with OpenAI. So Azure OpenAI for you. There are open source models available for you. You have the Azure AI SDK also available out here. And in case that's not enough, you have a language studio, especially for your language purposes. You have computer vision studio for your computer vision task where you want to train them. You have each and everything that you want or you can imagine, as you can see out here. Conversational Q&A, text generation, token classification, summarization, image to text, anything that you can actually think of. Cool, right? So today we are actually going to use one of the servers and we will be building a web application out of it. And you already know what it is. It's a text translator service that we are going to build. Now you understood, okay, where can I get those AI services and which is the studio I have to go to, which is AI Studio of Azure, and how you can actually go through that. Now let's create the web application. So these are the different steps that you need to do to set up or develop for your development environment. But in case you're using GitHub Codespace, you don't need it. So I'll be using GitHub Codespace for this demo purpose. I'll be sharing to you a GitHub repo link, which is this one that I've created later on towards the end of the session. You can just go to this repo, fork it, click on code and create a code space by clicking on this option. You need to have GitHub Pro or else you will get a free trial. You can use that. So once you've created it, you can access the code space in VS Code or in browser. I have accessed it in VS Code. So what you can do to access it in VS Code is click on these three dots and click on open in VS Code. Now, as you can see, everything that's present out there, all the content of that repo gets already cloned into your virtual machine, and you can see it out here. It's connected with your GitHub, so you can directly use it. Now, you don't have to install Python. It comes pre-installed in it. And there's a requirements.txt file, which includes all the things that we need today for the session. So what you can do is to install them, just type in the pre-install minus r requirements dot txt. And this would install all the three packages. But sorry, first you need to go to application folder and then tool. So that setups your development environment. Now you might say, okay, then what's next? So once your development environment is ready, we will actually write some code, but that would be in Flask. And you might say, okay, oh my God, what is Flask? So let's understand what is Flask. Flask is an open source web micro framework. Okay, you might say, I don't understand what you have written out here. Micro framework. Open source, I get it. It's open source. The code is available online and I can access it. I can contribute. I can make some changes, maybe help everyone out there. It's web framework. Okay, it's used for building websites. But what is micro framework? Micro framework, I mean, it's very micro. So it's like a very small package of it. It comes as a Python package and it has predefined templates that you can directly use, or predefined, you can say, uh, like terms that you can directly use or methods that you can directly use to build your website from like a particular level, and that would reduce your task by a lot. How to do that? We'll be exploring. But before that, the most important thing, and in case you are a new person in web development, you might be asking, what is routes? And if you have been using web development or making websites, you already know what it is. So routes can be understood as a particular address which allows you to go to a particular URL. You might say, what do I mean by it? So let's take an example. You go to a particular shop and you just ask that, okay, or let's say you go to your favorite food ordering app and you ask for a sum of the item. Now that particular item is delivered from different locations based on the item that you are purchasing. Similarly, what happens is, suppose this is our URL, which is for the main page, https://adventureworks.com. Now this directs to our home page. This will go to the server using next. What will happen is using the URL, which is this. It will locate where that particular resource, that is the HTML page belonging to this particular URL is, and gives you that page. Similar to what happens is in the food ordering app, it tells the restaurant that, okay, this is the particular thing that you want. Goes to the address, gets the item and links it to you. Similarly, in case we want for details on a widget, it will go to slash product slash widget and get you that particular item. So this is what the routes will be taking place, and we'll be using it to fetch our results and show it on the screen. And it uses two verbs, which is get and post. Now you might ask, okay, what is get and post? But let's first have a look at the code so that you understand it better. What do I mean by actually sending any of the information using routes? So let's go back to our VS Code and let's go to app.py. So when you go over here, you have this piece of code. Now over here, as you can see, it says @app.route slash methods is equals to git and app.route slash post. So what happens is when we have the routing as just an hyphen, which you saw previously as the main page, it uses this method get and gets us the item, which is using index.html. But when we run it using the post method, it gets us using this particular item that we get it on run this whole A, which is the results.html. So in this case, results.html, which is this page that you have out here, which I have designed, is there, and index.html, which is this one. That's them. Now, okay, you might say that's fine. I got what route is, but I am seeing over here method get and post. What is it? And is it that get is used to get information and post is used to post information? No, not always. So let's go back to our slides. It's not always that you use get to get information and post to post it. Both can be always used to return it to the user or send information, as you see out here. The client uses the user request form and gets it via by sending it to the URL, like hitting at the URL, and sends it to the server. The server sends back the HTML form, which needs to be filled. When the user completes it, it sends it via post, and the server again responds with the HTML result that it should display after processing. Now, in both the case, as you can see, get and post has been used to send. So what happens is get is used to send a very small amount of information that does not need to be secure, while post sends a large amount of data which has to be secure. And there are many more differences you can check out on the net. But don't get that misconception that get is used to get something and post is just used to post something. Now you saw this particular code right now, so skip it. Now, Flask has those templates that allow you to create a page structure while dynamically displaying data that we can see in the HTML code. As you can see out here, welcome name. So when you pass any information, it will show it out there. Now, you might say, okay, Flask is like Python, as you saw right now. It had everything that looked like Python, just a bit of HTML added to it. Now we don't have knowledge check, but you can always explore it. Now, coming to our translator service. But before that, let's run our application. So this is the application that you will see when you clone the repo, and you will have everything ready. Let me just clean the screen. Now, when you how to run this application, just a simple Flask run and it will run the application. So let's look at the browser. Now, this is the first page where it has a box where you can type in what you want it to translate. Choose the language from here. There are tons of languages. I've chosen only 5 and click on translate it. But how does it work? And how will we integrate Azure Translator service to get us the results? Let's have a look. And that's the main part of our today's session. So that was we have reached plan. But now, translator service that we will be learning right now is part of the cognitive service. And it helps you translate to and from dozens of languages. I would say dozen. It should be actually hundreds of languages. And as you can see on the screen, some of the languages to which it can translate. Now you need to understand key management also. But before that, let's create a translator service. Now you might say how to do that. The first thing, you need to familiar yourself with portal.azure.com. That's the Azure portal's URL. So once you type this URL, you will be redirected to Azure portal. You'll be asked to log in. So log in with the email ID that has the subscription. So this is the beautiful Azure logo that you can see on the screen. And this is the Azure portal. In case you are very new to it and you have to use Azure AI services, you can take help of Copilot. So we also have Copilot. You can just chat with it and understand where you can find the services. But for today, I'm here with you. So this is our search panel where you can actually search things. And this is where you can click on create a resource. So let's click on create a resource because we want to create an Azure translator service. And that's a resource. Now, what do I mean by resource? It means that's thing uh, that I want to have of a particular service. As you can see, it has tons of them. Anything that you can imagine, everything is present out here as far as my knowledge goes. Now, coming to the translator service, I just type translator and press enter. It will show you all the services that's available in its marketplace. So it has third-party integrations also available. Now you can see it shows the translator service. Click on create and click on translator. Now you have to fill in a bit of details out here, which includes the name, the resource group. We will be coming to each one of them to help you understand what do I mean by them. Now here's the subscription ID, which is the Azure subscription that you will be using. Next, you have the resource group. So you can choose the resource group that you want, or you can create a new one. Now, what do I mean by resource group? As you know, grouping a resource. So it's like if you want to monitor your billing or for a particular project, or if you want security management, networking, monitoring, access the IAM policies, you can use this resource group. Now, I want to create a new one. So I'm just typing create new and click on typing global Azure SD. Now you can choose the region that's nearest to you. For me, I'm just choosing Central US for now. Type in a unique name to the translator service. So I'm just typing global Azure translate. Let's see if it works. Next, choose the pricing tier based on your requirement. I'm choosing free for now. You can get the full pricing details out here by clicking on this link. Next, if you click on next, you can configure your network security in case you want only a selected networks that is uh, LAN service or the MAN service that you have or a WAN. You can use this particular option. And if you want anyone can access it through the internet, you can click on this one. Next, if you want to give some tags or set up IAM policies, you can set it up here in identity tab. Give it some tags so that you can get the resource billing and get the monitoring of it. And finally, review all of the setups that you have made. Just check it, cross verify it. And once you are sure that, okay, everything is fine, and it will also validate that, okay, all the important fields are ready, you can click on create. Or if you think you need automation, Click on this view automation template, and it will give you a template of how you can actually automate this. So you can click on scripts, click on start, and you can learn how to automate it. If you want to click on template, you can get this template, you can download it or deploy it. So let's go back. I think so you can do this for your purpose. Like if you want to get the automation script, okay, I think it should not have pressed back. But yes, in case you want automation script, you can do it. And let's just do this thing again. It will take much time. So I'm just doing the name of the leisure. Okay, took the name Global Asia region, which is into US. Name Asia translator, pricing tier. And then you can click on create to finally create your translator service. That will, so I'm just clicking create and creating it. Now our translator service is ready. But what was the key management part that I was talking about? Now what happens is when you're using an API, you get a secret key. Now, what is a secret key? It's something that is used to actually access that particular resource that you have created. Now, no one can just come up and access it. They need something, right? And what is required is what I'll be showing to you right now. So let's go to the source group. Click on keys and endpoints. And it will show you the keys, the location, and this to endpoint. Now, if you're using it for this text translation, you can use this endpoint. And if you're using for document translation, that is, you'll be sending in documents in PDF or doc and want to convert it or translate it, you can use this. And if you want to get an overview of how your service is performing and monitor it, you can just check it out here in the monitoring tab. It will show you the data of the request latency, the errors, and the characters translated and characters trained. In case you want to try it out here in the portal and check what is the response that's been sent and what we get, you can check it out here. So I'm typing hello and convert me to Spanish. It says hola, and here's how you need to send the request in this particular JSON format, and this is how you get the response. Remember, this is very important because you need to understand how to pass the information and how to actually send it for a successful operation to take place. And in case you are a very lazy person and you don't want to write code, you also have this sample code option. So you can just get all the code out here that you need to use. And if you're very lazy and you want the keys and region to be inserted in the sample code itself, you can click on this option and get it. It shows you in C hash, Go, Java, Node.js, and Python. Rest, if you want more information, you can check this out always. REST API guide and view it on GitHub. There are many things out there. You can change the pricing tier. You can get the networking, cost analysis can be done. You can set up alerts so that you are not overcharged. You can set up metrics, get the logs in case something goes wrong or you want to just have a security check. You can export this template so that you can automate it and also check out the task related to this particular thing. So this is our service ready, and this is how you can use it. But how we'll be using it in our application. So as I said, we need keys, endpoints, and location, which we will replace in this particular code. So if you go to app.py, here is the code, which is original text. It gets it from the form. The target language, we get it from drop down. Then we have the key, the endpoint, and the location that we get from this .env file. I've already pasted it out here. Next, you have the path, the target language parameter setup, the constructed URL. So you need to send it in a particular format as you saw it out there before. Set up the headers with all the things out there. Set up the body in that particular format, which we can see in the tried option. Next up, make a call, get the response, pass it based on the response parameter that we saw in the tried option, and then send it to the results.html and render it out there. That's it. Now, you created an translator service in just 55 lines of code using Flask. Cool. Now, live demo. So, translator service, I'm just typing hello. It was a part of it. And let's just translate it to German and click on translate. Let's see how well it works. It did a great job. Now let's make it like hello. And let's translate it and see what happens. So it didn't translate give me talks because it understood that it's a part of something. I translated global Azure series because that's global and Azure, which can be translated so that the like someone in Japan can understand it. Cool. Now, how much time did it take? Not much. Did you have to write lots of line of code? No, you didn't. Did you have to actually understand how to code an AI model from scratch? No, you didn't. You just had to create it. And therefore, you have it. Now, here's the QR code for the uh, GitHub that you want. Like in case you want the repo, you can just scan this QR code. And you'll be getting it. It includes everything out there. We have done this. We have called the translator service. We've tested the page and it's ready. Now, before going to the summary, let me show you two more different websites of Azure AI services, obviously, which can explore. One is the Language Studio. So language.cognitive.azure, as you can see, it's again part of the cognitive service. And the Language Studio out here contains each and everything that's related to language processing using AI. So as you can see, if you want to extract information, you have it out here. You can extract sensitive information, extract key phrases, link entities, name entities, health information, or if you want custom, you can just make a custom one. If you want to classify text, detect language, analyze sentiment, you have it. If you want to have a Q&A bot, you have it out there. If you want to just summarize text or summarize a lot of information, you can do it. If you want to have document translation, you can have it out here. Everything related to language is here. Next, you have the computer vision, which is customvision.ai. So what you can do is if you want a model that works for you, which is you just have to upload image, train it to classify them. You can use the custom vision option and then use it like in REST API to work along. You don't have to actually write a full machine learning model code for this. There are tons of other services and it would take maybe 3 or 4 days just to cover them or tell you about them. So I would highly suggest all of you to go and check them out. As you can see, it has tons of things like OpenAI service, AI search, content safety, vision, AI speech recognition, language, document intelligence. Document intelligence is one of my favorite thing out here. That is, you can get structures from documents and everything out there. Your AI translator that we use right now, which has more than 100 languages, we only covered 5 in this particular application. You can see the pricing out here and find your AI solution also. So let's go to a summary, and I hope you got a brief of Azure AI services, how you can actually use them to build your next innovation that you have in mind. And in case you still want to explore, we have something for you. So you can just scan this QR code. It contains a lot of cheat sheet that you can use for using other Azure AI services, deploy your website on Azure, use machine learning models, which is using ML Studio. So there's a whole complete studio for machine learning purpose that you, if you want to actually use it for creating your own models or use automate to automate it, automatically create it using Designer, we have it out there also. So in this workshop, you learn the concepts of building website in Python by using the Flask framework and Azure AI services. Uh, Please do share your feedback in case you like the workshop or if you see any improvement that I should make. We'd be happy to learn more about it. Thanks a lot.
Great. Thank you very much, Harshavardhan. Great session. Great to learn more about how to use all the AI tools within Azure. And thanks to everybody that was attending and is viewing this global Azure session as part of Gimme Cloud Talks. And enjoy this session. I believe will be is right smack in the middle of the global Azure. Make sure you go to globalazure.net and look for various sessions. You can also go to givemecloudtalks.github.io to find the sessions that we are offering as well. I think we have somewhere between 10 to 12 sessions that we're off that Give Me Cloud Talks, Captain Hyperscaler are offering over the course of April 18th and 19th. But Global Azure does go on. It is provided globally by the community for the community, and it is going strong from April 18th, 19th, and 20th of 2024. So thanks everybody for attending this session and hope to see you in other sessions. Otherwise, have a great rest of your day.